Good evening, everybody, and it's so good to see you once again. I'll do a very quick recap of what we looked at last week, just a few points, and we jump right straight into the order for today. Now, irrespective of the topic we are talking about, if you have any relationship question, I want you to know you can always drop us a message in the DM, and we schedule a personal coaching session with you. Okay, because there's so many things to say and just short time. We won't be able to address everything within the time we're working with. Okay, so if there are things you want us to really talk about, you can send us a DM. And I'm glad to let you know that soon we'll have strictly question and answers sessions. Okay, so you can bring in your questions and, let's tackle it head on. What I know is that there is solution, there is healing, there are answers for everyone who needs any of this. I bring you that assurance. Okay, so that quick recap I spoke about. We said a situationship is a relationship that is not defined. Okay, you don't know where you guys are going. There's no date in view for marriage. You're just saying, let's see how it goes. It's a situationship. And what we said is call it what it is and don't put your heart fully into it, so that when it crashes, you don't start running up and down saying, oh, my heart is broken. Okay, because it is not destined to become something productive. Chances are you may end up together, all right, but from the foundation that is set, it's not one that is set for marriage. Okay, so tell yourself the truth, pick up your heart as quickly as possible, put it together, and make the move to get out of that relationship so you can find purpose for yourself and fulfillment. Okay, then I said for the complication-ship one is that one where, at this point you really wish you could opt out, but you are the way out is blocked. You're tied by, there are lots of entanglements, commitments, you've gone too far, you're wondering where do I start from. Again, the same thing with that. The best thing to do is, if you have looked at it and it is not going anywhere and it's not contributing to your future, please feel free to seek help from professional therapists so that you can, have the emotional strength you need to take decisions, okay, which most likely will involve walking away and starting your life afresh. Let me say this, your life as an individual is more important to God than any other union that will not be in line with purpose. Okay, your life as an individual is more important. Your purpose, your fulfillment as an individual is very, very important. So don't jump into any ship that is not going to where you're going. Okay, so a few points we said last week. We said call it what it is, define it for what it is, not what you hope it will be. Don't assume that later he will love me or later maybe he will start talking serious. Call it what it is right now. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't place me as priority. He doesn't mean to take this to the next level. Call it what it is. And like I said, don't invest all of your emotions in it so that when you have to move, you can easily get out and run, because you have to save yourself. Okay, I'm just recapping, so let me not explain extra. If it's not aimed at marriage in the near and visible future, again, don't waste your time. Pick up your bags and move. Okay, so that you don't become Lord of the Rings. You're engaged and it goes for another 10 years and you're still saying, let's see how it goes. No, that's not good. All right. We also said last week that we should choose to build genuine friendships. We said there's nothing wrong with being friends with a member of the opposite gender and no sexual gratification is involved. It is possible. You can choose to do that. Just be friends. Discuss on matters of life. Be able to gist about politics, gist about society, gist about government, gist about technologies, gist about entrepreneurship, gist about so many things. There's a lot to talk about. Even gist about family, gist about current topics, what's trending, what's going on. Your gist must not always be about shape, boobs, ass, and let's get down. It must not always be about oh, last night was fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to wrap you in my arms. You're not more that you're wrapping. Okay, so that must not always be the conversation. What are you putting on right now? Oh, I just want to. Hey, if there is no substance, if it's not taking you somewhere, Once again, give yourself brain and start asking yourself the right questions so that you can give yourself the right answers and make a move. Finally, I said, don't expect a permanent outcome from a temporal process. Okay, if what you guys are having is just casual, as it were, you're just like what you say, friends with benefit, call it what it is, so that when you have to move, you move. Don't get your feelings roped in all of that. Don't do that, so that when you have to make a move, you can move and your heart is still intact and you give it to somebody who is deserving of you. Okay, so we're doing the part 2. All right, 10 minutes past 9, so it's a good time to get into today's conversation. We're doing the part 2 of that gist on how to identify the right partner for you. Now, I receive questions, lots and lots of questions on a daily basis, and this is one of the fundamental things that every young person wants to have answers to, and it is very important. Okay, now you see, we tend to struggle when it has to do with marriage, because all our lives we were giving attention to every other thing, but not love, not relationship, not marriage, not family, not parenting. Okay, and then we get to a stage in life suddenly where this is the next item on the agenda. I'm of age, I'm of maturity, I have the money, I have what it takes, I can raise a home, I can, coordinate a family, so I'm ready to get married. And then suddenly you just discover that you don't know what to expect, you don't know anything about it. This is one of the reasons why several guys are afraid, are genuinely afraid to get into marriage. That is why once you are in that relationship with them, year 1, year 2, and you as the lady starts getting concerned, and you ask them, what's going on? Where are we going? What's happening with us? And they begin to avoid that conversation. Why? Because of that fear of commitment, because of that fear that what's it really going to look like? Am I about to have one person in my space perpetually? Am I about to wake up to this person every day? Am I about to stop my rascal, lifestyle? Am I about to stop, all the things I do for fun and just being in charge of my own time and my own space? Am I about to stop all of that now? Am I about to be a father to children, start running up and down? Some people say, man, I just don't want all those inconveniences, man. If you're dating somebody and you're thinking about marriage and he is having any of these ideas that he doesn't want all the inconveniences that come with marriage, then please, yet again, receive sense and take a move. All right, you need to save yourself. You need to save yourself, save your heart. The Bible says to guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life. You have to protect your heart. It's like a garrison, like the protection or security you have in the prison, maximum security. Protect your heart like that, so that, not everybody just comes and has access and, begins to torture your heart, and then before you know it, you're just shaking and jumping up and down. You've lost coordination. You don't even know what's happening to you. No. Guard your heart. I tell people, don't fall in love too easily. Don't do that. Guard your heart. Guard it. This is very important. Okay, guard your heart. Make sure you are in charge of your emotions. Okay, so everyone has that question. How do I know the right person? How do I know the right person? Now, if I go ahead to just answer this question, focusing on the other person, then I may be contributing to some of the challenges we have in marriages. Why? Because in relationships and marriages, most times, people think more about what their spouses ought to do, who their spouses ought to be. The focus is on the other person. The focus is on him or her. The focus is hardly on me. And why is that a challenge? Because if all you're thinking of in a relationship is what you can get out of it, is what the person can do for you, is what the person can bring to the table, is what access and what privileges you can enjoy, what gratifications you can enjoy with this person, if that is what you're thinking of most of the time, then I make bold to tell you that you are on the wrong foundation, because it's already a selfish, undertone and outlook, okay, a selfish disposition, and love doesn't work that way. Love is any other thing, not selfish. Love is not selfish, it's not self-centered, it's not self-seeking. It's not seeking its own gratification and just what it wants. That is not love. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that is love. No. Okay, so when we are talking about how to identify the right person, before we begin to look at qualities in other people, let us take the searchlight and beam it on ourselves. The focus is you. Somebody say me. Yes, me, you. All right, you, yes, me. Okay. I just remember the comic part of one video. Let me not bring it into my conversation. Okay, so the focus is you. It's you. Okay. Before you're looking for a right partner, are you right? Are you right? Are you right? Okay, somebody used this analogy that people say, oh, I want to work in this company, it's a great company, they pay well, their staff are well taken care of, the same way you are trying to say you want to get into that company is the same way the company is saying there's a kind of people we want to employ. So before you are dreaming of jumping into that company, what you should be asking yourself is, am I the right kind of person? Am I in the discipline? Am I in the space that is relevant to these people? Okay, so it begins with you. Are you a right person? And by that, what we simply mean is identify yourself first before you are identifying a partner. Identify yourself. It's a fundamental question. Who are you? Who are you? Again, another challenge young people have is we know how to spend hours entertaining ourselves, chit-chatting up, doing any other thing than just being beside ourselves and reflecting. Thinking about us, thinking about our lives, thinking about where we're going, thinking about where we are now, thinking of where we're coming from. Now, if you can take some time to sit by yourself, no noise, you're not gisting, you're not jumping up and down, and you're asking yourself fundamental questions. You are evaluating yourself. Where am I now? Where was I last year? How old will I be this year? Are there things I could say I have done with myself that I am proud of? These are just honest and basic conversations. So I'm not saying you should start setting, those white elephant goals and things that will just make you feel like you cannot achieve anything. Like, don't start planning to buy off part of the ocean. All that. You know what I mean. So it's not all those. I'm not talking about white elephant goals and expectations. No. Basic things, basic evaluations. How am I doing? Who are my friends? Why are they my friends? Why am I drawn to certain kinds of people? A lady, for example, you should be asking yourself, how come all the guys who come, talking to me want to sleep with me the first day? Why is that happening? Is there a vibes I'm giving out to them? Is there a signal? What do they see me as? If they see me as someone honorable and respectful, will that be the first thing they have to say? Is that how they approach every other girl? Or is that the situation with every other lady? Does every guy who meet them want to sleep with them? Okay, you need to be asking yourself this. Or as a guy, you're saying, how come every time I see a pretty girl, all I'm thinking of is I want to sleep with her? Do I have to do that? Now, I'm just using that as an example. You need to be able to talk to yourself. As a guy, you're asking yourself, how come once I get money, all I'm thinking of is the next clothes I want to order or the next gadget? Why am I doing this? You need to be able to sit by yourself and ask very pertinent questions. Okay, so who are you? Do you even know yourself? Do you even know what values you have? If people are supposed to describe you, what do you think they will say about you? There's this analogy that is usually given where someone is by the graveside and people are saying so many things about the person, and then it gets to the person's turn to speak, and he looks at the coffin and it's himself lying down there, and they ask him, okay, what do you have to say about yourself? All right, and he's looking, oh wow. Okay, my point is, what are your values? How can you describe yourself to you? Are you a pleasant person? Are you a troublesome person? If you are troublesome, there might be a reason for it. If you're quick to get into a fight or a quarrel, you're quick to pick on issues and pick on people, there might be a reason for it. So you want to find out, why am I like this? Is it something about my environment? Is it something about my upbringing? Is it something about the experiences I've had in the past few years? If you're somebody who is always shy, you don't like to mingle with people, have you taken time to ask yourself, why am I shy all the time? But when I'm around certain other people, I feel freer. Why do I feel timid in certain other circles? Fundamental questions you need to ask yourself. I did an exercise once with a group of people, and it was shocking. I told them, I said, write 5 things about you that you love. And guess what? A lot of people couldn't write more than 3. Not because they don't know how to speak English, but it just so happened that they had not taken time to have a critical look at themselves and even know what they are good at. Some people couldn't write more than 3. And then I wanted to make it more difficult. I said, now describe qualities that you did, that you made an input in developing. So in other words, don't tell me you have a fine face. You met yourself like that. Do you understand? Not be you born yourself, not be you found yourself like that. So don't tell me about your face or your physical attributes. Tell me about something that is a value that you adopted or you have created for yourself. And yet again, more people were looking and were confused. So I'm asking you that question right now. What are your values? Can you list any 5 things about you that you love about yourself? Are you a polite person? Are you hardworking? Are you determined? When you take a decision, are you disciplined enough to stick to it? Are you good at playing video games? Are you good at socializing with people? Are you good at picking up challenges? Do you speak very well? What are the things you're good at? Do you cook very well? What are the things you're good at? Anything. Why am I saying all of this? Because it's fundamental that you have an interaction with yourself. You know who exactly you are and what you represent. What are your weaknesses? What are the things you struggle with? What are the things that, left to you, you would avoid them all your life? What are those things that can make your fuse go off in 2 seconds? What are those things that will provoke you? You need to know all these things. What are your passions? What are those things that keep you awake all night and you even lose touch of time? What are those things that unlock that desire in you to do something great? You need to identify all of these. Now, why are all these important? I will come to it in the course of the conversation. Basically, what we are saying is, who are you? Have you met you? Can you introduce you to yourself? And are you proud of who you are? These are very fundamental questions, so that we don't, fall into the same trap of looking at other people. I want somebody who is hardworking, who is determined, who is cute, who is disciplined, who is rich, who is fine. Before you are looking at other people, are you all of these things, and are you preparing yourself to be all of these things that you want? So I make bold to tell you that instead of, hoping on those things you want other people to look like, you put the searchlight on yourself and start imbibing those qualities. I used to be a hot-tempered person at some point in my life. There was a time, once I get angry, the way I knew how to talk was with a slap. But at some point, I told myself, this is not making any sense. I hurt somebody, and at the end of the day, I start feeling sad about it after my temper has calmed down, and then I start feeling bad. And I told myself, I don't like this. This isn't right. I wonder, I saw in the Bible that anger lies in the bosom of fools. I said, whoa, Mayzy, are you a fool? Do you understand? I started asking myself questions. I saw that a man who is hot-tempered is like somebody who lacks self-control. I said, wow, do I lack self-control? So I began to speak with myself, and it didn't take time when some of those behaviors I didn't like had to start dropping. But if I had not had those times to reflect, and see a picture of me that was more like, that fits who I really am and who I want to be, perhaps I'll still be that person who is easily angered today and whose temper, just goes like that within a second. But now I tell people sometimes that you can hardly even annoy me, because I've built so much love, so much understanding, so much grace, so much tolerance. I can take a lot of shit. A lot of people can't do that. I can. It didn't happen overnight. Okay, so much for that. Why am I saying all these things? It is important you know you. It was Socrates who said, man, know thyself. Before you are thinking of what your partner would look like, be concerned about what you look like and who you are. Okay, so who are you? Who are you? This is a question that is very fundamental. It's very fundamental. Answer it to yourself. Who are you? Another thing is, you need to know where you came from. You need to know whose you are. You need to know, I just can't explain this thing enough with the time we have. All right? It is very fundamental. Do you know that you were, the Bible says, fearfully and wonderfully made? Do you know that? Have people been treating you like trash? Have people been treating you like you don't know anything, you're useless? It's probably because you haven't found out who exactly you are. Do you know that you're the apple of God's eye? Do you know that you are the Son of God? Do you know that you are made in the very image and likeness of God? These are very fundamental things to defining who you are. Okay, and then of course we get into other things where we start building on character, we start building on skill and stuff like that. Okay, so let me just run through some fundamental questions that you can ask yourself so that I can move on perhaps to the other aspect of today's conversation. Okay, so who are you? Who are you not? I asked someone one time to tell me something good about themselves and they couldn't say anything. So I said, okay, let me try something that you're not. I said, are you a criminal? He said, no, I'm not a criminal. I said, okay, but how come you couldn't say something good about yourself? You needed to find out first what you were not. So sometimes, okay, the way to understanding what something is sometimes is by understanding what it is not. Okay, so while you're still trying to know who you are, perhaps you should also ask yourself, who are you not? Okay, are you a thief? Are you sloppy? Are you a lazy person? Are you a child of the devil? Are you a destroyer? If you are not all of those, okay, perhaps start thinking of yourself in the positive light. Okay, so who are you? Very fundamental. Who are you not? You need to know that, so that when situations and things start trying to make you behave like the person you are not, you will know that no, this is not me. Oh, I remember one interesting story about a prince of a particular kingdom. He was told by one of his tutors. He said, okay, so assume you are in a dream. No. He said, assume that you are a poor man and you need to. And the guy said, no. He said, no, what? He said, no, I'm not a poor man. He said, no, I know you're not a poor man, but assume you are a poor. He said, no, I am not a poor man. The guy said, I know now, but he said, hey, I am royalty. I can't even make that assumption. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what poor is. I can't think it. You need to know yourself that well. You are royalty. You can't do just any and everything. You can't go just any and everywhere. You need to know who you are. A pidgin English adage says, now person will know where they go, they forbid some things. Okay, if you know where you're going, there are certain things you would forbid. You can't participate in this or that. No, because it doesn't meet with who you are. It doesn't meet with how you carry yourself. It doesn't meet with the understanding of who you are. Okay, so don't assume you are that lazy person. Don't assume. No, you cannot assume it because it is not you. So let me move on. Who are you and who are you not? And then what are you? Okay, what are you bringing to this world? What do people describe you as? What skills do you have? What have you honed? What potential have you honed? What are those areas of your interest that can add value to life, that can add value to humanity? Okay, it's high time you start identifying what these things are so that you can, deploy yourself, and mankind and the earth will feel you and know you for who you are. Let me tell you, there's how busy you will be with adding value to life that you will not even remember to be looking for a man. A man will find you. He will find you. And as a guy too, there's how busy you'll be on your purpose that you're not noticing just any and every girl. You'll be very busy adding value to life. In fact, when you see people, it will be easier to know that they are not for you. You won't be confused about it. Okay? So, what are you and what are you not? What are your values? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your passions? What are your skills? What can you do easily? There are certain things that some people can do easily and other people have to struggle to do them. Some are physical skills, some are art skills. Which ones do you have? You need to identify these things. Okay? And then, what things do I love? What things do I detest? Why is it that when I'm around some people, for example, I know of certain persons who, have said, that guy is too loud. I don't like him. He just talks. Open his mouth and just talks. Just all over the place. I don't like that. Why don't you like some things like that? Why do you go to a place and you just prefer to stay at one corner instead of being at the center of the activity and at the limelight? Have you tried to find out why? Have you asked yourself those questions? Okay, so what exactly do I like? If certain foods are brought before you, which one are you likely to jump at? Which one are you not even going to look at? You see, you need to know these things because life serves you all kinds of people. If you're a lady, life brings all kinds of men. If you don't know who you are and the type you want, you will just be checking out all of them. That's how at the end of the day you run around everywhere and say all men are the same. But they are not the same. You have just been meeting the wrong people because you probably didn't even know what you were looking for. And the same applies to guys. If you don't know what exactly you're looking for, you would run after every breast and shape that you see. Because when you see the opposite sex, all you think of is externalities. All you think of is her beauty. All you think of is C-shape. And I laugh at guys because you don't know all the artificial things that go into that person that you see on the street. You don't know all the things that go, everything from top to bottom. There are lots of additions you don't know about. And then that is what you are running after. But if you know exactly what you are and what you are not and what you are doing, who you are, you will know what kind of persons fit where you are going and what persons do not. That is very fundamental. And then, so that was for what things do you love and what things do you detest. Do you know yourself to the point that if you're offered a large sum of money and told to do certain things that you forbid, can you identify some of those things you would not do even at gunpoint? Okay, and then have you also identified those things that you can do whether or not anybody notices, whether or not anybody is paying you for it? You can just stay here and be enjoying yourself. Okay, another one. There's something we call love languages. Since we're talking about relationship, let me not just generalize it. Do you have an understanding of what kind of things to you tick that checkbox of love? What are the kind of things that as it were make you feel loved? What are the kind of things that make you know that, oh, this person is taking his time to treat me special? What are the kind of things? So this is very important because, I put up one post one time that I think I borrowed it from another person's post that, people can genuinely love you in their heart and not know how to express it. They don't know what to do. Why? Because there are certain things that matter to you, but they don't know. So there are basically 5 love languages Gary Chapman, explained to us. Okay, there are the words of affirmation, there is quality time, there is physical touch, there is gifts, okay, and there is what's the 5th one? Somebody can type it for me. Quality time, words of affirmation, gifts. Okay, I'm gonna find it just now. I'll come back to it. Okay, so do you know yourself that much? Do you know which one speaks to you more? Acts of service. Yeah, that was the last one I missed. There's physical touch, there's quality time, there is gifts, there is words of affirmation, and there is acts of service. I hope I didn't just mix them up. Okay, so which one exactly speaks to you? There are some people that the way to their heart is to give them acts of service. There are some other people that the way to their heart is to affirm them, to let them know, oh, you're great, you're doing very well, you can make it. Oh, wow, that was fantastic, keep it up. All right? Now, there are those who the way to their heart is to just buy them gifts regularly, however small it is. It doesn't have to be fantastic, however small it is. Somebody said receiving gifts. What of giving gifts? Okay? Yeah, both of them anyway. Yeah. Okay? For some it's gifts. Okay, but you need to know which one speaks to you. All right? Why is this important? Okay, so that you can, in the period you're courting or dating your partner, these are some of the things you need to teach them. These are the things you guys need to discuss so that everyone knows how to relate with everyone. So that both of you know how to relate with each other. You know what things are important. For somebody who wants quality time, if you buy all the gifts in the world, he or she will not be pleased with you. In fact, the person will tell you, you don't love me. And I see this a lot. The man says, but I've done everything for her. I provide for her. I make sure she's not hungry. I gave her a new car. Oh, I sent her on vacation. And she says, that is not what I want. I want you. I want to talk with you. I want to know that you are around. I want to know that you know what is going on in my life. I want to know that you are emotionally present with me and you know what is going on. But you see, sometimes the men don't get it. I'm working very hard because of you. How can you say I don't love you? And she says, because I don't see you. For some, it's just those physical touch. And touch does not have to be smooshing. No, it's not sensual touch. It's not sex related. Just a pat on the back, just a hand holding. Perhaps a peck on the forehead. The hugs. Okay? Somebody tells you don't love me. And you say, but I've been trying on my best. And they say, no. When last did you touch me? And it's not sex she's asking for. She just wants to feel you around. Okay? To know that you are there. Alright? So, which is yours? You need to know this so that it can help you, in fact, from understanding your own, you'll be able to look out for what is your partner's own love language. Okay, and eventually to help you know how to communicate with one another so that you can help yourselves to love each other the way you really want to be loved. Let me move on from love language. This time is running so fast. Okay, what are your beliefs about life, about money, about success, about men, about women, about marriage? What are your beliefs generally? You know that your beliefs actually determine how you respond to life. Let me give you an example. If you believe that every lady driving a flashy car got that car because she's sleeping with a man. The day as a young man, you see a beautiful lady you love or you think you're interested in, and the day you escort her to her car and it's a flashy car, the first thing that will tick off in your brain is, she's one of them. This one with a follow man. What if it's genuinely hers? People work and earn their money. There are lots of very rich and successful young ladies and single too. So when you see them living the good life, going on vacations and doing stuff, don't think it is man. It is not man. You see, but that could have just been your belief. Because you just think that perhaps it was due to how you grew up. It was due to the people around you. Perhaps the first set of young ladies around you that you knew who were affluent, got their money from sleeping with other men. But not all ladies do that. People are working hard for their monies. So you see, beliefs are very fundamental. What do you believe about success? Do you believe that success is impossible? Do you believe that success is what happens only when you make money and then you start killing yourself just so that you can make money? What exactly do you believe about life? You see, when people say they don't know what to talk about during courtship, I may go to tell them sometimes that it's because they started off on the wrong footing. If you start off focusing on body and romance, you will not know what to talk about, because every time you see, you want to continue from where you stopped the last time and you want to take it a bit further. Okay, but if you're not doing all of that, then you will have to find things to discuss. You will have to come up with things to discuss. And there's nothing wrong in having a checklist of questions. There's nothing wrong, as a matter of fact. Feel free to make a list of questions. If I ask this one, okay, I'll ask this one next. Feel free to do that if you have to do that. But my point is, you need to be discussing about these things in friendship and in courtship. Now, when you're friends with people and you discuss all of these things, it's already easy for you to know which of your friends you stand the chance to get in a relationship with and which ones you don't. Why? Because in all this conversation, you already know where they are going and whether it fits with where you're going. I hope you get this. All right? So, what are your beliefs about life? What are your beliefs about faith? What do you believe about God? What do you believe, about what's most important to you? What do you believe about marriage? Do you believe that marriage is just a complicated place? Do you believe that marriage is just a place where people are just pretending to themselves? I beg, What do you believe about marriage? One day I was working with a group of people and there was this heated conversation that was going on about marriage. And one party was saying, the guy was saying that, man, no matter what goes wrong, the two people involved in the marriage should try to make sure there is peace and settle things. It won't be good for the children if they're always quarreling and if they divorce or go separate ways, And then there was another lady there who said, for me, no, I can't take any nonsense. So the day he just does like this, I will give it to him like that, and boom, I'm out. And I decided to probe a little bit further. And I asked the guy why he maintained his position. And he told me, he said, Mayzy, growing up, it was very terrible in my home. My parents were never at peace. They were always fighting and quarreling, and it was terrible for us, the children. The best day in his life was when the parents somehow, put an end to all those quarrels and they became like a brand new couple and things were better. That was the best day in his life. So he was saying that please avoid trouble, it's not good. I asked the lady on the other hand why she maintained her opinion that the day your man annoys you, talk to him the way you like, and if he's not getting the point, then take your bag and get out of the house. I asked her, why did you have that opinion? And she told me clearly, that was how my mom raised me. My dad used to treat her anyhow, and she dealt with him, and she left. That's how she raised, the rest of the children. That's how she raised up her children. I said, you see, what has happened is that the experiences both of them had growing up had formed different pictures in their minds about life and about marriage. One wants peace, the other one wants scatter. Why? Because of the beliefs they have formed. So it is very, very important. You can see somebody who is very pretty, yet you don't believe the same things. Now, there are some of them that are amenable to change. There are some that are impossible to change. When you are with somebody who you fundamentally don't agree on the same thing, why do you want to take it to the next level called relationship or marriage? In Amos 3:3, the Bible says, can two people work together except they agree? If you cannot agree, there's no point. You see? So I tell people it is very easy to know those that you should not get in a relationship with. I have to wind down now. Time is already almost out. Okay, so that we can take one or two. If you have any question, please feel free to drop it. Okay, I want to try and see if we can keep these sessions at 40 to 45 minutes, so that it's not overly long. I mean, we're going to be doing this every week, so we can't say everything in just one session, one hour session. Okay, so I want to keep you within 40 to 45 minutes so that we can take 1 or 2 questions and then we'll look forward to the next week. Okay, so I said, what are your beliefs about God, about spirituality, about faith? Okay, I also said that your beliefs about life generally, success, money, men, women, marriage, parenting. Okay, you need to identify all these things for yourself. All these things I'm asking you first are for yourself before you are even discussing them with the person you're considering for marriage or to be in a relationship with. Okay, so again, let me ask 1 or 2 final questions and then I'll just stop there for today. I think I still have about 5 of them. Okay, what's my self-concept? What do I think about myself? How do I see myself? Do I see myself as somebody who gets validation from others? Am I confident in my own skin? If I go out and somebody says, hey, this boy, you're very ugly, will I feel offended? Do I think I'm ugly? What's my self-concept? Do I have a healthy self-esteem? Do I get intimidated when I see other people I consider to be more successful than myself? When I see other people I consider to be richer than myself, do I get uncomfortable? Okay, so what's your self-concept? Do I have a good self-esteem? Do I have a proper self-courage? Or do I think myself the least in the crowd? Do I think every other person is better than me? Now, why are these things important? Because if you can identify all of these, then trust me, you know where to get help. And there are therapists, there are lots of us who are ready to give you that help, who can help you to find who you really are. I know a lot of people who think they are introverts, yet they possess a lot of powerful, extroverted qualities, but environment, upbringing, and certain experiences in their lives have made them think they are timid people. Alright, so you need to understand all of these about yourself. Also, you need to understand to yourself, how do I resolve conflict? What do I believe about conflict resolution? Do I go all out and make the other person pay? Should I deal with the person? Should I hold the person in my heart for a long time? Do I keep a grudge? Do I keep malice? Or should I just let it go? These are things you should be telling yourself. Okay? We'll get to the sessions where we'll talk about hurts and, grudge and stuff like that. Okay? Those things don't really help you at all. They don't help you in any way. Okay? That's for another day. But have you understood these areas about yourself? Then there's a very important question. Where am I going? It's a question of purpose. What is my life about? What are the things that unlock my passion? If you don't know where you're going, just anybody will take you with them on a ride. And I tell people that direction is more important than speed. You need to know where you're going before you are running fast. If not, if you're supposed to get to Abuja from Lagos and you get on a plane going to Enugu, you will arrive very fast but at the wrong destination. So direction is more important. Where are you going? So that when you see people who are going the opposite direction, irrespective of any other quality, you can tell yourself, this one is not for me. So where are you going? What are those things you believe God has wired you to do? What are those things that your life is about? What are those things? Have you identified them? Until you do that, please don't be in a hurry to just jump into any ship. Find out where it is going. Also, I'll stop with this point. Do you have unresolved emotional issues? Perhaps from a failed relationship, perhaps from your family, perhaps from friends, Are there things that have happened to you that you have not gotten over yet? You need to ask these questions. Don't forget, the emphasis is you. Today is for you. Next week, look at the partner to be, but today it is you. Until you answer these questions, you may just not be ready yet for a partner. Now, in summary, a successful relationship with others begins first with a successful relationship with you. It is wholesome people that form wholesome marriages. You are complete in yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to complete you. No, you are complete in yourself. So you need to know this. All right? Now, selecting a life partner becomes easy when you know who you are. Why? Because it will be easier to identify the people that don't fit you. I told people I was never confused about my relationship. I meet you, discuss with you in 5 minutes. I know whether or not this conversation should continue. I know it at once. Okay, why? Because I had a very clear sense of direction and purpose. I knew exactly what I was looking for. I knew what kind of person would work with me. Okay, so having a sense of direction will help you know easily who does not belong in your heart. Okay, so selecting a life partner becomes easy when you know who you are, because it helps you disqualify the ineligible candidates. It's not everybody who applies for a job that gets invited for interview. Some people don't make it through selection. Why? They are not eligible. Why? They don't meet the criteria. A blue chip company advertises an opening, thousands of people will apply. Sometimes they need just 10. Out of thousands, they have to sieve and sieve and sieve and sieve. Okay, it's because they already have basic standards about what they want, that they use those standards to sieve out those who don't fit in. If you don't have those standards about yourself, how do you know who to let in and who not to let in? I would love to stop at this point, and I hope that it's been worth your time. If there is any question, I wouldn't mind taking it at this time. Yes, somebody wrote down there, yes, it is wholesome people that make wholesome marriages. If you are broken and hurt and get into a relationship like that, you would most likely carry that brokenness and that hurt into your relationship. You would think your partner is just a terrible person. Meanwhile, you may just be the one with the baggage that has not been attended to. Okay? So you need to know this. You need to know this. Let me stop here. If there's any question, I'd like to see it right now in the chat room. But if there isn't, you can just tell me anything that jumped out at you in the course of this conversation. Okay? Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you all. And do have a fantastic time. If you want to have a one-on-one session, drop a message on our DM and we will get in touch with you. Thank you so much and God bless you. See you next week. Please keep sharing the love and keep letting people know about what we are doing. Let people know that every Wednesday at 9 p.m. someone is sharing wisdom on relationship, on love, on marriage, on family, and it will do you good. Okay? God bless you and see you next week. Bye. All right.